Hi guys, back today with a quick swap share. This is for a project that I created for a swap I joined over at Creating the Crafty Life. And this was for the April Showers Bring May Flowers toilet paper roll mini. And I created this little mini and this little wheelbarrow for my partner, whose name is Carol. I will try and find out if she has a YouTube channel, and if she does, I will make sure that I link down below. So we needed to create a little toilet paper roll and mini album, and I did. Of course, it got a little bit chunky, even though I tried my best to keep it flat, but that really didn't work. But first I'm going to show you guys the little wheelbarrow that I created. And so at first I did not have a lot of fun creating the wheelbarrow. I was very frustrated with it, and then I realized that it came with a video. And the video, so I got this from svgcuts.com, and I had a lot of fun with it. So I created it out of some Michaels, or some Recollections shimmer paper in the bronze color, and I did mess up and I had to recut a couple of pieces in just a flat brown cardstock, but I don't think you really noticed that part of it. The pattern paper that I used for the wheelbarrow and also the mini album itself is Kaiser Crafts Oh So Lovely. And I did have to resize this just a little bit because I wanted to make it a little bit larger than what the SVG cut comes in, and that was a little bit of work, but I made it work, and so this is what I created. So what I did was I cut the pieces out, and all the pattern paper I inked in the Close to My Heart Whisper color ink. I added plenty of flat back pearls, and then this really pretty ruffle like pinch pleat trim just to kind of finish off all of the edges. I added some pearls on the inside as well. The tire, or the wheel, is cut out of black cardstock and then some more pattern paper on top of it. And then these are just some gold letters from my stash. A couple of, I think these are Wild Orchid Crafts, just open roses. And so this is what the mini album sits in, because I just thought, you know, Mayflowers, or April Showers, Mayflowers, like a gardening theme, and it just kind of jumped out at me. Alright, so we'll put that off to the side, and then we'll get into the mini album. So, the mini album, I just used a simple Hidden Hinge Plus binding to give a little bit more room. What I did was I used kind of like a beige colored cardstock from Recollections, and just covered the entire chipboard cover. On the front, I have this metal piece that I got from one of my friends, and I just put it on the front. There's a couple of, this is just another lace from my stash, and then more of that pleated trim, and then a bunch of flowers from my stash. So these are kind of just a mixture of probably Prima and Recollections, and then Wild Orchid Crafts flowers, and then there's a couple of just flat back pearl flourishes right there. Little organza bow on top. The side of the mini, it just says grow, because again I was thinking kind of gardening theme a little bit, and then just some flat back pearl trim, and that's where these flourishes came from. It's just the remaining bits of that. On the back side, I created just the swap information, and that's just swap information. And then to hide the tulle, I just added one of these, I guess, acrylic flower pieces. Okay. This was so fun. Alright, so I just used some tulle to bind the mini just as a closure and just tie it into a bow. So on the inside, I did 6 pages. Let's go ahead. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. There we go. All right. So on this first page, I used a couple layers of lace and then some of the pinch pleated trim. This is a punch And this is, what is it called? It is called Petite Petals, Perfect Petals, and it is a McGill punch, and it is, oops, it is a super old punch. I got this at Michael's so long ago, but that's what I used on these. This is the Martha Stewart, I want to say just branch punch, and then here are a couple of the little ephemera pieces. So there's 3 little ephemera pieces, and then there's this little cut apart thing. And what I did was I glued this on to some of that beige cardstock, and just to make it a little bit thicker, so journaling spots, photos. On the back side, I stamped each, or like on the back of it, with a Bo Bunny stamp set, and I don't know if I can find it, but it's a Bo Bunny texture stamp set. Let me see if it's handy. Here it is. It is Rustic Textures. So it's Rustic Textures. I got it at my local Tuesday Morning. And so that's what I used to stamp. I used this one to stamp all of the backs of my little ephemera pieces, just to give it a little bit more, you know, I don't know, je ne sais quoi, a little bit of something. And then in the center, I used obviously some micro beads in the center of each of these. And then each page has a pull-out, and it's just patterned paper, front and back. And they're all different papers. I just used kind of my leftover papers to create those. And then this is my Stampin' Up! Whale Tab Punch to just add a little bit of, or to add the tabs to it. Okay. So on this next page is just more lace from my stash. And again, I created another little pocket out of this. I added a metal piece, and then I added one of those handmade flowers on it. And in here, there's just, this is another little piece from the ephemera, and I just backed it on some more cardstock, and then just another couple punch outs. This is actually a tab. Sorry about the train, you guys. This is a little tab from the ephemera piece, and again, I just added it to some cardstock. And this paper is so pretty. I love all the colors. It's the blues and the pinks and the greens. So that goes in there. This next page is just, I used some trim from my stash to make a little belly band. Added a couple of pearls, added this little metal piece to the front, and then another little pearl piece. And then on the center, it's just a little, again, a little tag for whatever, journaling and or photos. More of the branch Martha Stewart punch, and then another little acrylic flower there. And this is another tab from the ephemera cutout parts, and it just sits in there just like that. On this, again, another trim from my stash, and what I did, it's this leaf one, and I think it's really, really pretty. So I created a pocket with it, and then I added the ruffled pleat to go across it to give it a little more stability. And then I added 3 of these acrylic flowers. Now, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but they do have the gemstones in the center, but they're actually like sparkly. And then inside, I created 2 photo mats or journaling spots just to sit in that pocket with the pattern paper. This I created just a pocket out of the pattern paper, and I added a piece of lace from my stash just to a little like a ruffle trim. Added 3 flowers that I created from the pattern paper as well. Little metal piece, some pearls in the background, and then this piece right here is another one from the cut-aparts. And then again, I've just added some of the, they would be the journaling cards, but they're just like tiny little ones. Normally, you know, they come in the, with the 12 by 12 sheet, they would be like the 3 by 4 cards, but they just work so perfectly for a little toilet paper roll mini. All right, then this is a little pocket that I created. Now this is a border from the paper collection, and what I did was obviously I just added some trim across to just kind of give it a little bit more stability, and then I added pearls to each of the center of those daisies. I created just one of the large photo mat pieces. And then these two pieces are, again, from the cut up, like the cut aparts, the ephemera punch outs, whatever. And I added the branch, or the fronds. I think they're called fronds. I think it's the frond punch. And then 2 of the little pink acrylic sparkly flowers there. And I just thought, with the greens and the pinks, I was like, oh, so cute. I just thought it was so pretty. This page right here, I added a really wide piece of trim and I let it hang off the side. I actually dyed it with some of my Tattered Angel sprays. I think I used rouge and then my brown one as well. I can't remember the name of it, just to create kind of a subtle kind of dusty pinky brown kind of color. Little metal piece across the front, another flower that I created with that perfect petals, and then this again is another little piece from the just the cut apart ephemera. And then I put these 2 pieces in here. So again, I just backed them on some chip or some cardstock to make them a little more substantial. This one I added a little jewel flower to it, and this one I left plain. There we go. And again, there's room in these pockets for more ephemera and stuff like that, so she can add to this definitely. This is a piece from that cut apart, and what I did is I just created a little tuck spot with it, adding 2 of my handmade flowers, and then more of that frond punch, and then 3 little of the the little like journaling cards right there. This is a piece of trim that one of my friends actually crocheted for me, and I have hoarded a bunch of things that she sent me, and I finally used it in a project because it was the perfect length to use as a pocket. So I created this little pocket with this trim, and I let the ends kind of hang off. A little round metal piece, and I added this little bird, again is another from one of those punch out ephemera pieces, and then I added some more of those acrylic flowers. In the pocket itself, I have this piece right here. It's just a little photo mat or journaling spot, and then I have 3 of those little I guess journaling cards in there, and these just kind of tuck in there. And I love this whole mini is just, I think it turned out so lovely. This is another little pocket that I created with some trims and laces from my stash. So again, created that little pocket, the little just to stabilize the top of it a little bit more, to give it a little more substantial heft. And then I put one of my handmade flowers right there, and then I used 2 more of those little pieces, and this one you can write memories on it, and again I back the backs with cardstock to give them just a little bit heavier feel. This page right here, oh gosh, I just love the way it turned out. So I had this trim, and I used, again, my Tattered Angels spray, and I just used the red one, or the pink one, and just created the pink color. And then I had just added that little metal piece right there. And then this little butterfly is one that I got recently in a swap. One of the gals sent it to me, and I just adhered that to the top, and then added one of those little flowers. And then, oops, I just added another little journaling spot or photo mat there. And then this little tag, again, is from the paper collection. So I just covered the back with cardstock to make it a little bit heavier. And then the back page I thought turned out really, really pretty as well. So this is some wide trim, again, that I had, and it was really wide. So I used my brown Tattered Angel spray and lightly misted it to give it a little more antique-y look. I added a couple little bits of lace that I had, and then a metal piece right here. I also used some antique pearls to kind of mimic the border edge to, again, just give this lace a little bit more stability, because I noticed that it was gaping quite a bit, and added a flower to the front. Then this is just one of those little journaling cards, and then these are just some more ephemera from the collection, and I just love this entire mini album. I think it turned out so pretty. Not to do my own horn, but I think it did. It turned out just pretty. All right, so there is the mini album, and again, it can grow, so it doesn't always have to sit in the wheelbarrow. And I just, little bow of tulle right there, and it just goes right in there, and that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It doesn't fit in this way, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.